In this video, we're going to be looking at ordering lists of integers. Now, if you remember from last time, what we were looking at is, well, we were looking at how do we compare bigger numbers, like 3-digit numbers. And we were doing this without using a number line. So we were comparing without a number line. We had that process of looking at hundreds digits, then tens digits, then ones digits. And we sort of want to continue in that, but in a different way. Because this time, rather than looking at bigger numbers, we're just going to be looking at more numbers. So in this video, we're going to think about how do we compare lists of integers with a number line and without a number line. So let's just begin by drawing up a number line like we've done in the previous videos, starting from 0, going 1, 2, 3, just going up in ones, let's say up to 7 on this side, and then let's go to -7 on this side. So it's just -3, the -4, -5, -6, -7. Okay. And so what I'm going to look at as an example is I want to order the numbers from smallest to biggest of 2, -1, 3, 0, -4. Okay. How do we do this? Well, if you remember, when we were doing number lines, we looked at going right is increasing or gets bigger, and going left, hopefully I'll have enough space for this, is getting smaller, or just imagine that goes there, decreasing. Okay. And so what we're going to want to do is we want to see, well, we want to go from smallest to biggest. So we want our numbers to sort of go in that direction. We want these numbers to be listed in that way. So in order to do this, what we first need to do is to find where actually are all of these numbers on our number line. So let's have a go and mark them on. Well, first we've got 2, which is there. And then we've got -1, which is just here. 3 is over here. 0 is there. And -4 is there. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got all of the numbers marked on the number line. And what we want to do is to look at them from smallest to biggest. So from smallest on the left to biggest on the right. So let's have a look. Well, if I move my finger along, I can see the first number that appears is -4. So I'll write that down. And I keep going, and I've got -1. So I'll write that. And I go, and I've got 0. I keep going, I find there's a 2 there. And then one last number, which is 3. So what we've done is we've gone from left to right to get the smallest to biggest numbers on our number line. Okay, so I'll give you a go at trying this out. And let's have a go at biggest to smallest this time. So this time, because we're going biggest to smallest, we're going to want to go from the right over to the left. Try and arrange the numbers 2, -2, -7, 8, and 5 from biggest to smallest. If you pause the video now, take some time and have a go. Okay, so hopefully that should have been enough time for you to have a go. Pause the video. I'll just write out this number line. Then we get to marking on and try and arrange from biggest to smallest. Okay. So once again, we just do the exact same thing. So we look at our first number 2, mark it on, then we look for -2, mark it on, -7 is here, 8 is over here, and then 5 is there. And this time, because we want to go from biggest to small, we want to go from the right over to the left. So the biggest number is over here at 8. So we'll write that first. And then we go along to 5. And keep going along to 2. Move our finger along again to -2. And then the last number here, the smallest number, is -7. So the numbers from biggest to smallest are 8, 5, 2, -2, -7. Nice. Okay. Here we have another example. Let's have a look at what it says. So John has measured the temperature every day this week in degrees Celsius. So that's the symbol that we've got here, which is just most of the time when you see temperature, that's how it will be written. What's important is he gets some numbers. He gets -7, 5, 9, -13, and 2. And we want to order these temperatures or these numbers from least to most. Okay. This time we're going to do it without a number line. So we have to think, okay, we're going to start from the least. So what's the least going to be? The least is going to be the number that's furthest to the left of 0, furthest below 0. And which of these numbers are furthest below 0? It's going to be -13. So we'll start with -13 and cross that off. And so of the remaining numbers, which of those is the furthest below 0? Well, it's going to be -7. So we'll write -7 and cross off that. Now we've got 5, 9, and 2 left. Are any of these below 0? No, exactly. So we're going to look which is sort of the smallest number remaining, which is 2. So we'll cross off 2. We've got 5 and then 9. 5 comes next, and then 9. So 5 and 9. Okay, nice. So just to recap on what we've done in this video, I've got one last exercise, which is to match up the boxes here. So we've got one column which says these words, increasing stays the same, decreasing. We've got one column which is some lists of numbers. and we've got one column which describes how those lists of numbers are arranged. What I want you to do is to draw a line from box in here to a box in this column to a box in this column, and do it so that there should be a line connecting each box in this column to each box in this column, each box in this column to each box in this column. So if you pause the video and have a go. Okay, so hopefully you've had enough time to give that a go. I'm going to start here in this middle column. I'm going to look first at this list of numbers here. So we've got 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And what can we say about that? Well, the numbers are just staying the same. They're not increasing and they're not decreasing because we're not moving along the number line. And so we'll just say stays the same. And then because it's not going from small to big or big to small, it's just sort of constant. It's just sort of staying the same. And that's the word that we use. So we say constant. What about this sequence here? Well, we start with -2, and then we go up 1 to -1. We go up to 4 and 7, so we're getting bigger and bigger. So it's increasing. And because we're getting increasing, it means we're going from the small numbers of -2 to the big numbers, like 9 and 7. So from smallest to greatest. And then finally this sequence here, it goes from 8 down to 6, down to 4, down to 2, down to 0. So we're decreasing by 2, and then by 2, and then by 2, and then by 2. So it's getting smaller and smaller, or it's decreasing. And we could say it's going from the greatest to the smallest. Okay. So in this video, we've looked at ordering lists of integers with and without a number line.